told me that sucked and that I should get some pepper spray. But he looked happy about it.
Feeling broken-hearted over something that never was. Never was, never was. Ooh, I thought it'd be me and you.
Здравствуйте to my newbies, привет to my oldies, and добрый вечер to everybody because it is the nighttime over here on the East Coast. Что ты делаешь? What are you doing? What's up? I know I've been gone for a really long time and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. The fact of the matter is that life has just been so hectic for me, but I am back and I'm better than ever and more focused, and I have so many different videos to tell you about. But before we get into that, if you like my vibe, make sure you subscribe, red button right there down below. Click my notification bell because we already know that I'm sporadic as fuck. We already know that. So I'm going to need you to click the notification so you can be alerted for any time that I post. Also, be sure to follow me on my socials. If you're coming from TikTok, thank you. Welcome to my YouTube. If you're not, go follow me on TikTok because I make a lot of videos there and I post probably like 5 times a day. Also, be sure to follow me on my Instagram because a lot of you are not following me on my Instagram, and how are you supposed to be a part of the creative process if you're not following me? Excuse me, Miss Ma'am, Sir, they, how are you supposed to be a part of the what are you putting into this channel? Answer quickly. Exactly. So I'm going to need you to go follow me there. Make sure you check my stories so you could be up to date. And you can vote on what I talk about next. We're just going to act like that never happened. This is not happening right now. It's not happening. Today's story time is about my crazy boss. I actually told this story time on my TikTok, but people kept talking about part 4, part 5, part 6, and I'm like, girl, I'm gonna just make a YouTube video because that's too many parts for me. And I'm the queen of parts. If you don't know, now you know. So let me start this off by saying that I was young, okay? I was 17 years old, and this was my second job that I ever worked before a day in my life. Well, yeah, this was like my second serious job, okay? I have been working at Crackdonald's. We all know what Crackdonald's is. I don't need to explain. And everybody that I was working with was either leaving, and then the people that they was hiring in, they was doing a whole lot of nepotism is what they was doing. And I wasn't about that because little Miss Cindy would get in trouble or do something bad, and then they would blame me because they didn't want to yell at their niece because they was afraid of their sister. Like that type of bullshit. So my friend, and I'm not going to say their name because we're not really friends anymore, but there's no hate. It's all love. So, but I'm not trying to bring them into this, okay? My friend told me that they could get me a job at this place. I'm not going to name this place, okay? Because it wasn't the place that was bad. They did what I needed them to do when I finally opened my mouth. It was the person. He's the shit person. So we not going to name... We can call this place Cardboard, okay? So my friend's like, hey, I could get you a job at this restaurant, Cardboard. He tells me he's going to give me a job interview. I get my interview, and off the bat, I was not feeling the store manager. We're going to call this store manager Rico, okay? I was not feeling Rico because, first of all, when Rico first met me, he gave me this fucking weird-ass look. Like, he was surprised that I was the person that I was. He's like, oh, are you Kaida? Like, yeah, I'm Kaida. And he asked me like 3 more times as if to confirm that my name was Kaida. And I was like, my name is Kaida, bro. My name is Kaida, okay? Low-key, he was maybe just a little bit disappointed that I was the person that I was. Or maybe he was surprised by my skin color because the person that I hung out was Mexican and I grew up in
white-ass Arizona.
And
full of white people and Mexican people.
So that means... What? There's not a lot of black people there. I'm used to being the only black person in a room at times. And so I guess he just didn't, I'm just going to say it. I just think that he was low-key just racist. Like, he was Mexican, but I feel like he was low-key prejudiced, okay? So the other thing that tripped me out about this interview was the fact that anytime I would tell him something, he would ask me 5 other questions about the one thing that I told him, as if he was trying to catch me up in a lie. Like, I told him about how I helped a deaf person with their order. I spent like 20 minutes with this lady, and like, he literally asked me 6 questions like, oh, I've never met a deaf person before. Oh, this was at the mall that you worked in? Oh, well, do you remember what shirt they were wearing? Like, sir, it's never that deep. It's never that deep, sir. It's never that deep. So anyways, my friend is the one who told me that I got the job, first of all. Then the assistant manager called and told me I got the job. The store manager, Rico, never called me and told me I got the job. So they telling me, oh, can you give us a couple weeks so we can get your uniform? We got to order it. We got to do this. We got to do that. And I said, that's more than fine, because, again, I'm still working at McDonald's. I'm not going to quit a job before I got a job, baby. We don't do that over here. So I was like, that's fine, because if you need a couple weeks, that's like 2 weeks. It gives me time to do my 2 weeks, and then I can dip the fuck out. So that's what we agreed to. Well, 2 weeks go past and nobody's calling me. And then another week goes past and I'm confused. And again, I'm 17. I'm a high school student. I'm a high school senior. But listen, I was paying my daddy's bills at this point in my life. I'm not even going to front with y'all. I was paying my father's bills, okay? So I needed to make money. I was paying my own bills, okay? And I was trying to save for college and for a car. So I really didn't understand what was taking them so long. So halfway into week 4, I was like, I'm going to go up there, because every time I call, it's always an excuse or there's nobody there to talk to me. And I don't like that, okay? I didn't like that. So I went up there to talk to him. And when I went up there, he was acting crusty. He was acting weird. He was like, oh, you're supposed to wait for my call. They told you that I was going to call you back. I don't understand why you're up here. It just shows that how impatient you are. And I'm sitting there like, this doesn't sit right with me. And even 17-year-old me being as, what's the word that I'm thinking of? I doubted myself a lot, okay? I doubted myself a lot. I doubted the way that people would talk to me. And I used to just think that people didn't actually talk to me the way that they did. I'm just being sensitive because that's what I've been told my whole life. But now I'm on that. Fuck that bullshit. I'm no longer being insensitive, baby. You're just being mean. And I'm going to say it. But when I was 17, I used to allow people to talk to me whatever way. But I still was not going to wait for him. So I told him, I said, listen, sir, I understand that you told me to wait, but it's been almost 4 weeks. That's a whole month at this point that I've been waiting for you, and you have not called me back. So I just need to know if you're gonna give me this job or not, because if not, I will go somewhere else. I got bills to pay. And I just let him know straight up. So he was talking about, oh, another week, another 2 weeks. And I was like, bet, you could just take me off. You could go and find somebody else. I don't need the job that bad. I mean, I didn't say I didn't need the job, because I did. I just said I'm not willing to wait that long. I could probably find another job in the meantime. Like, low-key, that's literally how I said it. And when I said that, then he was like, oh, well, let me see if I can fit you in, because we have to find a trainer for you, and that's been the problem. But I'm sitting here like, Cardboard is a fast food restaurant. No matter how fancy they want to make it seem, bitch, you're fast food. You're right next to McDonald's on the list of fast food. And you talking about a trainer? Anybody can train me, bro. Bitch, you could train me. Like, so then suddenly he could get me in on Saturday. So, but didn't even ask me if I had any plans or I had anything to do. I get it. Okay, I know you guys are going to come into my comments talking about, but you were just complaining about you didn't want to start. Yes, I understand. I was complaining about that fact that I want to start. But I was a teenager. I still wanted Saturdays off. But I feel like he purposely told me I could start Saturday evening because he wanted to be an asshole, because I came in there fucking pushing his hand, and I don't care. So I said, fine, whatever, I'll come in Saturday. I come in Saturday, I work, everything is fine. And I come to the conclusion that this store is hella divided. And I'm going to tell you why it's divided. There's one side of the people where my friend was that really liked Rico. Rico was the best to them. Rico went out of their way to do things for them. Rico was the shit, right? Then there was the other side that was like, no, Rico is pure fucking evil. This nigga will change your schedule without telling you. He will schedule you past your availability. He will cut your hours and then add hours on randomly in the middle of the week to fuck with you. He will know that you have kids to go home to and make you stay. Rico is the devil. That's what they said to me. So me being me, I'm the type of person, I don't really like to take people's word for somebody else. I kind of just like to sit and observe. I really am the definition of I'm quiet till you know me and then you realize that I'm loud as shit. Like, that's literally me. So when I first got to this job, I really was kept to myself, kind of seemed like a weirdo, you know, because I didn't talk to nobody except for my friend. And I didn't really think that Rico was that bad at first. I mean, of course he had me fucked up in the beginning, but I really didn't see him all that often, so I really didn't think he was that bad. It wasn't until I decided I was tired of being a cashier and I was like, hey, at my other job, I knew how to do everything in the store. So do you want to teach me how to do everything here? Because that's the type of person that I am. And then, of course, ain't nobody going to turn down somebody that wants to learn shit for free, that you don't got to promote them or give them more money. I was a dumbass at that point in time. I really was the type of person that I'd do somebody else's job and not get paid extra for it. So they started teaching me like grill, and I started getting real cold with the grill cooks and shit. And they really just started telling me all the shit that Rico, like how nasty Rico was. They told me that he harassed a couple girls that were younger than him, like way younger. I'm talking about, I was 17 when they were about the same age as me. They were the same age as me, and he harassed them. He made them feel uncomfortable, said things to them that made them feel uncomfortable, that he felt threatened by the younger, hotter guys. Tell me that he was just mean. Like, he used to make insensitive / racist jokes all the time. I remember that, I think like the one time that I was like, I'm not really on the Rico train. There was this one manager that I used to hate beyond all life. I remember one time I came in there to look at my schedule 20 minutes before I was supposed to clock in. She's talking about, can I help you? Ma'am, I'm trying to look at my schedule so I know what time I'm coming in tomorrow. What are you talking about? I don't start for another 20 minutes. So then when I said that to her, when I clocked in, then she going to try to tell me to go clean the bathrooms, clean the mirrors, do this, do that. I said, bet. I stood outside for 30 minutes smoking a cigarette because I was a bad kid at that time. I'm not cleaning no fucking window, bitch. And you trying to punish me for shit that I did before I clocked in? Are you my mother? You not my mom. Anyways, this woman was overweight, okay? She was overweight. I'ma just say it. But she was a baddie. Even though I didn't like this bitch, she was still a baddie. But he used to make comments about her weight all the time. And like, she was a little bit more overweight than before, I guess. But it was because she just literally had a baby, bro. She just had a baby. But he used to make comments about her weight all the time. And then he was not accommodating to her because he didn't want to fuck her. I'm just going to be plain, simple, honest. He really was accommodating to the women that he thought was beautiful. His assistant manager, bitch, was gorgeous. She was married, but he still thought he had a chance, even though he was a fat fucking lump of a man. I wouldn't even call him a man. He was a boy, okay? I'm sorry. I'm getting distracted. And he used to make her always cover for people, even though she literally just had a baby. He just did not give a fuck. He did not care whatsoever. So I decided that I needed more money, and I had just like passed my last math class. I was like, hey, if you need me to work in the morning, I can. Now, Cardboard was a 24-hour establishment. Like, our dining area was open until 2 a.m. to the public, but drive-thru was open all goddamn night, okay? So that meant that if you wanted to come, or if you wanted to work till 2 a.m. or you wanted to do a double shift, they would have let you do that. And sometimes on Fridays, I would let them schedule me to like 1 or 2 in the morning, even though it's illegal in the state that I lived in. In Arizona, it's illegal for anybody under the age of 18 to work past 11 p.m., okay? But he didn't give a fuck because he just wanted to use me. Because again, this is fast food. Nobody wants to work there. So I told him, hey, if you stop scheduling me late on Fridays, you could use me in the mornings if you need me, because I really needed the money. And the morning shift goes by fast. And I was thinking like, hey, I can get good in the mornings, and then I could just like party all night, because this was the time that I could get 2 hours of sleep and I would be good, baby. So he tells me, okay, you know, especially because my friend was like, yeah, let her come work. I want to work with her so we could get off together and do this and this and this and this and this. And like my friend was so far up his ass and vice versa that whatever my friend did, Rico really just did it because he liked my friend. Okay. So when I started working in the morning, at first it was fine, except for the fact that this man never worked his actual shift, like ever. Like he would come in and work for a couple hours and then leave, but would be mad at somebody for coming in late or calling out. Your logic is not logicking. Make it make sense and answer quickly, immediately. There was this one day that we were really busy. We got a really busy rush, right? And this is like mid-morning. So I'm dropping papitas. I'm dropping fries. Because it's mid-morning, people are still ordering breakfast and they're ordering lunch. And I'm not even gonna lie, I never been on the fries when it was that busy, and like there's a certain way that you're supposed to drop them so you never run out of fresh fries. And I was getting distracted because I had customers. At this point I had been working there for like 5 months, so I had customers that were like saying hello to me, trying to talk to me. People try to talk to me. And I was getting distracted. I'm not even going to front with y'all. Like, I'm not going to lie. I was definitely getting distracted. And there were times where he had to be like, Kaida, the fries. And they had to wait for me because I didn't have my shit together. Okay, fine, whatever. I admit that. This is 3 hours after the rush when it's time for me to go home, right? He calls me to the back to his funky, smelling like degree and booty funk teenage boy office, right? This small office. And there's like 5 other people in this office. Doesn't make any sense. If you wanted to speak to me, you should have spoke to me alone. Why is there 5 of your minions in here, sir? Looking like butt plugs and all. So he starts talking about the fact that I need to learn how to focus and that we were behind on everything because of me, even though there was plenty of times that he forgot to add something on somebody's order and we had to remake their order. He didn't mention that, no. And that bothered me mostly because as he's telling me all the things that I was doing wrong, his little fucking minions are piping in, and these are my coworkers. These are not my bosses. These are my coworkers. Shut up, Jared. Ain't nobody fucking talking to you. You're not my boss and you're not my dad. Like, literally. And the way he was speaking to me as if I didn't understand English. As if I couldn't make 2 and 2. As if I couldn't fucking read. It really was giving, you're stupid. That's really what he was saying to me. And as, again, 17-year-old me, self-doubt. But my temper, 0 to 100. Literally, it's not even a second, baby. It's not even a second that I go that much. So, I started giving him the same energy back. I said, if this was such an issue then, why didn't you tell me now? If communication is such a problem to me, it shouldn't be a problem to you. Why did you wait until the end of my shift, 15 minutes before I'm supposed to leave? You now making me late to clock out to tell me that you had an issue with something that happened almost 3-4 hours ago. Explain to me. I said, as my supervisor, I would expect you to have the best communication up in this bitch. I think you should have told me at that time. Also, it seems a little weird that you have all these people in this office. I just was going off on him. I'm not even going to front with y'all. So he got upset because we were arguing back and forth, and he was looking stupider by the minute because I don't play when people try to belittle me. And he told me, fine, this conversation is over. That's okay. I don't care. I clocked the fuck out and I left. But then when I came back the next day, something was off. Something wasn't making sense. So I'm looking at my schedule and I'm only scheduled 1 day for 4 hours. Oh, bet. So this is what the girl kits were talking about. When he don't like somebody, he don't like them. So he cuts their hours. So he cut my hours. I didn't say shit to nobody. I maybe would have said something to my friend. That was it. I didn't say nothing to nobody. In my mind, I'm thinking I saved up enough money up until this point because I could save money back then. I can't save money now. So I know that our standardized tests were coming up at this point, and I needed to focus especially on math because that was like the one that I failed every single year and I really wanted to graduate on time. And yeah, so I really didn't give a fuck. And I'm petty, and I'm still petty like this when I really don't like somebody. So if I don't like you, I'm not going to speak to you unless it has something to do with the job. I'm not going to say good morning. I'm not going to say hello. I'm not going to ask how you're doing. I think that's fake. I don't like that. I'm not going to talk to you whatsoever. And that's what I did. And I think it really bothered him because he cut my hours, and then he would try to say hello to me, say good morning, and I wouldn't say shit to him. I would just ignore him because what are you going to do? Fire me for not saying hello to you? For not saying good morning? And I know that it really bothered him because then he started picking at me. I had this one little itty bitty, this tattoo that looks like shit now, okay? When I got this tattoo when I started working there, right? He started making me wear long sleeves, and I mean, like, this is Arizona that I am living in, okay? So it gets hot by, like, freaking the end of December. It's hot all the time. I'm not even gonna front. So he starts making me wear long sleeves, even though he has people with fucking neck tattoos out talking about, oh, your tattoo has to be covered at all times. He started talking about my shoes because I remember at one point I think my shoes were like falling apart, but like they were still wearable and they were work shoes. I don't fucking care. But he was talking about my shoes. He would talk about my pants being too tight. That's weird. I'm 17. Why are you looking at my ass, sir? He would talk about my shirt. I think I remember at one time I heard him make a comment to one of the managers that I liked. He made a comment about my boobs and about the fact that I looked like I had a uniboob and that I was wearing a sports bra, and that if she could talk to me about wearing a real bra to work. Like, bitch, I was wearing a sports bra. I did have a uniboob, not gonna lie. But why are you looking at my boobs? I'm 17 and you're like, he was like 40 something. It's giving, it's giving, what's that man's name from YouTube? Omarion or Ricion? I don't fucking know. It's giving the P word. That's what it was giving to me because he really tried everything in his life to get a reaction out of me, and something in me just knew not to give him a reaction. Maybe because I grew up with my Faja, and my Faja is the same way. Like, he'll do shit to get a reaction out of you, and if he doesn't get that reaction, he'll keep fucking picking at you. And I just knew it's not worth it. So because he wasn't getting a reaction out of me, right, he decided that he was gonna switch it up. So instead of just scheduling me for the one day, he started scheduling me one day all the way until like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I'm literally walking home. It's taking me 2.5 hours to walk home. At first, I didn't say shit to nobody. I didn't say nothing to nobody. I didn't tell my best friends. I remember my dad had a car at the time, but my dad literally used to work like the graveyard shift. So he used to leave his house at 2 a.m. in the morning. So he could not come and get me from work. I think I lived with my best friend at the time, and my best friend's mom, she had a car, but her car was acting up, so they couldn't come get me. So I used to literally walk home. I would take the bus from school to work and walk home. That's how I would do that. So he went from scheduling me one day to scheduling me 2 days, but he was scheduling me to this late schedule. And he would do it on days that he knew. Like, he would do it on Friday, and he would do it Thursday, Fridays. I'll never forget. So I was really just bumping my music, having a good old time, until one day I'm walking with both headphones in my ears like a dumbass, and I feel like there's a car behind me, and I look behind me, I see the car rolling up. I don't really think anything of it except it's going insanely slow, and to the point where it was literally kind of crawling next to me. I felt weird about it. So the way that I was walking, there was a bank. I remember there's a Wells Fargo right there that you could only get in on the other side. There's only one entrance and exit. It's the same entrance and exit. So I walked over the little brick thing. I walked behind it. I walked past this other building, and then I made it to like the mall. And like behind this mall, there's a park, and you can walk into the park and then start walking through the neighborhoods, and you would get out and you would be closer to my home, like the crossroads that I had to be at. So that's how I did that. I just thought it was a one-time thing. That happened on a Friday, so it was the last day that I was working. I didn't say anything to nobody. So then the next day comes up, and randomly he schedules me Wednesday, Thursday, Friday because he needed my ass. On Wednesday, he scheduled me a normal shift because he just needed me to cover somebody. And then on Thursday, I had that same feeling of me walking with my headphones, but I feel like there's a car coming up. So, I turn just to look at it, just like any normal person does. And I feel like it's the same van, but I'm doubting myself. I'm like, it's a white van. I'm like, all white vans look the same. And this is not one of those old, creepy, get stolen in vans that you hear about when you're a kid. No, this is like a relatively brand new van. I don't know what model. I just know it was relatively brand new. It looked nice. And I remember it started like the driver's side window started rolling down, but I got so freaked out thinking that this was the same van that I literally just did the same thing. I took off, I went around, I went behind, whatever, and I left. Now Friday comes around. I'm thinking I'm tripping. I'm absolutely tripping. That is all I can think about. Is that I'm thinking that it's the same person and it's not. So I'm walking the same exact way this time and I feel the car roll up again and it's the same van. And this time I know without a doubt in my mind that this is the same exact van. And people on my TikTok speculate and they're like, oh, it's him. He's following you. He's probably doing it to get back at you and make you scared. No, it was not him. I was on my TikTok, ganging up more shit because I just wanted people to just speculate and comment. Yeah, maybe it was him, but I don't think it was him. And this is why, because there was two people in that van, and the only reason I know is because they rolled down their window to talk to me. And I couldn't see the second person, but I could definitely see the first person. And he was speaking Spanish as if he wanted to talk to me. And he was trying to ask me something. But you look at this skin tone, do you think I speak Spanish? I definitely kind of understood what he was trying to ask me. He was trying to ask me directions somewhere because half my family is Mexican and I can't put two and two together. But it just seemed weird to me that he was trying to ask me that. So I took the fuck off running. I'm not even going front with y'all. I literally just went the same way that I went, except this time when I headed into the park, right? And I'm walking and I'm getting over to where the neighborhood breaks in, the neighborhood road that I gotta go to. I see a car rolling down. It's the same motherfucking van. Bitch, when I tell you, I didn't even think. I just turned around and took off running out of the park. I literally had to run up and go through the mall, like the long way, like not actually through the mall because it was closed, but like through like the plaza and everything like that, like the outside part. And it took me like an extra 45 minutes to get home. And like I said, I was pissed. I mentioned it to my friend and I mentioned it to another friend / coworker that I worked with, which was actually, I got her that job before I realized how freaking insane Rico was. And I don't know, they both loved Rico and didn't understand like my hatred towards this man at this point. So I think that one of them mentioned it to him before I did. And the reason that I say this is because the next time that I went to go check my schedule, I was scheduled for 4 days and they were literally all the same shift all late at night. So the first 2 days that I walked again, there was no issue. But then it came to that Thursday, and like I said, the van showed up again. This time, I really didn't even wait. Once I seen that motherfucker coming down the road, I literally took off running, and this time the van decided that it was going to chase me. So I'm running, and on the side where not next to the bank, right? It's a Wells Fargo. So it's a Wells Fargo. There's this other like glass, really tall building or whatever that I used to, and there's like a courtyard that you can walk through. I ran through that because I knew in order to get to the other side they were gonna have to pull out and pull back in because there's like little blocks blocking the, like separating the parking lots, which gave me more time to basically run over to like the restaurants. And one of those restaurants was a 24-hour McDonald's whose lobby was not open at this point, but I was banging on the door and crying that the lady let me in, and I had to literally call my dad. He had to call off from work and come and get me. And from that point, my dad was like, you need to tell your boss that of what's going on and that they cannot schedule you to this point, right? So he took me home. My best friend's family, everybody's up waiting for me because they're worried about me. And they're like, what happened? And I told them, and they were like telling me the same thing. Like, you need to tell your boss you cannot work that. So I decided to get to work early because this motherfucker for some reason would always leave before I would get there. Granted, I had a late shift, but he was still supposed to be there till at least 6 p.m. and he will always leave before that. So I got there early that day, and I came in and I told him, I said, listen, this van has been following me. That just scared me. It's my cat. So I was like, this van has been following me. And yesterday it followed me all the way to a McDonald's. I literally had to call my dad to come pick me up, and I think it was trying to kidnap me. I can no longer work these hours. And this man dead ass looked me in my face, told me that sucked and that I should get some pepper spray. But he looked happy about it. And that's why I say, and I agree with the people that called this motherfucker a devil, because obviously he has to be one of Satan's children to look at me and say that, right? So I was so mad that day. I was so livid that he said that shit to me. I literally clocked out and fucking left. Like, dead ass. Clocked out, left, did not say nothing to nobody. They were calling my phone. I put the whole store on block. I don't give a fuck. I really wasn't going to go back after that, but I still needed the money. So I decided I'm going to go back, but I'm going to leave early. I'm not doing that no more. So I let my managers know. I said, y'all are either going to fire me for always leaving early, or y'all are going to change my schedule. Now, like I said, I really love the assistant manager because she was the only real one in there, right? So she heard what happened to me, right? So she ended up getting him to agree to change my schedule back to his regular hours and giving me my regular hours back. But of course he had to come and make it fucking weird by saying that she like literally begged him on his knees so that I could get my hours back, and that I needed to be more appreciative towards him and to understand that, you know, that I need to learn how to speak to like him as a man. Ugh. Made me disgusted. This man was disgusting. I just cannot believe it. And he said that to me and I was 17, bro. Oh. So, anyways. After that, I'm looking for a new job. I am looking for a new job. I think I had already graduated at this. I had come up, graduated, and I was getting ready to turn 18. So I was really looking for a big girl job because I was tired of working in fast food. I told myself never fucking again. And I think my last straw with him, and I think this was God too telling me, was that his little funky ass office with all his little fucking followers and shit like that, it was next to, what was it next to? I think it was next to the freezer. It was next to or across from the freezer. I think it was next to, because I went back there and I remember hearing them talking, and they were literally making jokes about this man trying to kidnap me. They were back there making fucking jokes about this man trying to kidnap me, and making jokes and making guesses about what they thought that he was going to do to me and whether I was lying or not. And who would want to do something to me? Because look at me. When I tell you the amount of anger that went through my whole entire body, I didn't say nothing. I've never told this really to anybody except for like my best friend. That is the only person that really knows about this. So I clocked the fuck out and I left. I'm not even fucking around. I told them, I said, I don't feel good. I didn't say nothing else. I clocked out and I left. Then literally that day, I got a call back to do a job interview. I went in that same day after I had left, did that job interview for that other job, and got that job the same day. And I think I called my friend and I said, hey, I'm not coming back. I quit. Like, you could let them know. And that was it. And you would have thought that was it. But at one point in time, everybody had everybody's number, right? So that they could call you and text you and tell you when to come in. Well, I don't know how this man got my number, but he definitely got my number and sent me weird text messages asking me to come back. Apologizing for he said, I apologize for the differences that we had, and maybe I should have spoken to you in a different manner. Like, ugh, you're disgusting. Shut the hell up. differences. You literally made jokes about somebody trying to fucking kidnap me. You're a fucking weirdo. You're a grown-ass man acting like you're a teenager. I'm the teenager. I should have been acting like that. But no, that was him. That was him. And basically, I remember I told my best friend's mom all about this shit. And she was like, you are not going to let this man walk away like this. So I made a complaint as a customer, and I also made a complaint as a former employee. And I remember, like, after I made that complaint, like, a couple weeks later, I went into the place to go get some food, because even though I don't fuck with him, the food was immaculate, and I could trust these people because I knew that they was not dirty, and they was not out here being dirty to the customers, because, you know, some people would drop buns on the floor and then make your sandwich with them. Oh, I was like, let me go in there and get me a sandwich or something. And yeah, I found out he got transferred, and then I found out he got fired. And I just call that karma. So yeah, that's the end of this story. For everybody that really wanted to know. Again, if you like my vibe, go ahead, subscribe, red button down below. Make sure you click the notification bell so you can know when I upload. Make sure to follow me on my Instagram so that you can be a part of the creative process and know what videos that I'm planning on doing next and what video you want to hear first. Thank you so much for watching today. I will see you next time. До завтра.